With the pandemic still going on, protecting what we have is even more important than ever. Christopher Cook from Alliance Insurance Services is here to answer your questions about insurance. All you have to do is text us at the number on your screen. It's 336-375-5775. Remember to text these questions. You will not be able to ask your questions if you call the number. It is text only. Okay, so Christopher, let's start with something, especially since we are in hurricane storm season. This is one of those things that we get asked all the time, and it's about the trees. And if your neighbor's tree falls on your house, who pays?
Yeah, Tanya, we've had that conversation multiple times in our friendship. The damage is done to your house. Your homeowner's insurance policy pays the claim.
Even if it's your neighbor's tree. Now, what happens if it's your own tree that falls on your house? Still your insurance?
Still your insurance, that's correct.
So basically, if a tree falls on your house, it is your insurance. Now, there's something that people need to know, because if they take a look at their homeowner's policy, a standard policy covers the damage due to a fallen tree, but something it doesn't cover is tree removal and cleanup. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, especially the tree that falls in the yard and doesn't hit the fence, doesn't hit the pool house, doesn't hit the utility shed, doesn't hit the garage. It's just a tree that's down in the yard. That can be expensive, especially with an older, sizable tree. There is not coverage on the standard homeowner's policy form for that. No matter how the tree fell down, no matter whose tree it is, there's no coverage. In the enhanced homeowner's form, which is a little bit of a technical insurance guy kind of conversation, you can have coverage for that, but you would want to ask your insurance company for what's called an HE7 in our state.
And can you give me kind of any kind of estimate on like what we would expect to pay? I mean, I think we always get sticker shock when we think about insurance, so you kind of just need to know, all right, well, what does that cover? Like how much?
Yeah, you know, when I was having my children, kind of an odd way to go, but I always thought about things at good, better, best. The HE7 is a best product. And you're paying maybe $100 a year more for the absolute best, all the bells and whistles.
Okay, $100, and that'll get you about $2,000 worth of coverage to chop up that tree and take that tree out of your area.
Amongst a lot of other coverages, but yes, that's one of them. That's correct.
Okay, all right, we've got a text question that says, is there home insurance that covers ground movement, like earthquakes, mudslides, or sinkholes? I've heard there's no protection with that for insurance companies.
Most of the carriers that we do business with in our agency do offer an earthquake endorsement, so that can be purchased, and it depends on the type of home you have. A brick home has more premium cost to add earthquake coverage than a frame home, believe it or not, mainly because the brick facade could be damaged quite a bit more in an earthquake, but it can be purchased. It is rare that I see customers purchase it, and quite honestly, not many agents, including myself, would offer that coverage, but something we probably should start considering more often.
Okay, someone has this question. Do homeowner and auto policies cover damage from rioting or protests?
Vandalism is insured always. It's one of the most basic perils that's ever been insured against. However, there would be question of coverage if a government entity deemed an event to be an act of terrorism or an act of war. So far, we've not seen rioting or protests get into that realm, and I hope we never do, but that could prevent coverage from applying. But so long as it's considered vandalism, then there would be coverage, yes.
And we're talking about that from a homeowner's point of view.
Correct.
So when it comes to your
automobile
car,
as well,
is the same thing?
Yeah.
And that's for a standard policy, or do you have to have comprehensive?
Well, thank you so much. Comprehensive would be, comprehensive is what the coverage is called that would cover things like vandalism or theft.
Okay, so comprehensive coverage covers everything from when a tree falls on your car, when an icicle falls on your car and damages it, right, crashes it, that kind of thing.
Hitting a deer, windshield damage, flood, hail damage, theft, vandalism, yes.
But does everybody have comprehensive coverage?
State law doesn't require that. So no, everybody has liability insurance. You have to add comprehensive and collision. Many people will call that full coverage. That's not quite an accurate term, but most folks, common vernacular is to refer to it as full coverage, to have comprehensive collision and liability.
Okay, and so when you're calling around, because we all do this, we all call around to different insurance companies to see who can give us a better rate. Sometimes we get a better rate because they're not giving us comprehensive, or they're not giving us something else that we had beforehand. So you as the buyer of the insurance have to ask.
Yeah, you want to try to get a good explanation. Our job at Alliance Insurance, and I hope all other agents look at it this way, is to educate the customer on what their risks are, show them how we're protecting those risks, and allow them to buy the policy that does that. So that's hopefully what experience you're getting. But if you're not, yes, you need to ask, I want full coverage, or I want comprehensive. I want to make sure I have vandalism coverage.
Gotcha. Okay, so maybe what you want to do, because we're about to take like a 3-minute break, is you might want to go to your important papers and look through like your homeowner's insurance or your auto insurance and take a look right there, and then see if you have any other questions. You can always text your questions. It's to the number right there at the bottom of the screen, 336-379-5775, and we'll be back in just a few moments.